guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm the Savvy Daughter, and this week I got an unexpected opportunity that I'm going to share with you guys today. My grandmother is really into gardening, so this week she gave me a couple of tomato plants that she grew from seed this year. So I've got a couple more tomato plants that I'm going to be putting in buckets because I'm kind of hoping to get enough tomatoes this year to make salsa. She also gave me some tomato seeds that she dried out on her own that she hasn't grown into plants yet that I'm going to try to plant and grow some plants. I'm going to try to teach myself how to grow vegetables from seeds, and hopefully that will continue into the future and I'll be able to use that skill later, and you guys will see more about that in a minute. But first, I'm going to put these tomatoes in some buckets and see if they'll grow. I'm going to drill holes in my buckets so that they will drain. Now when I water my tomatoes, the water will drain out the bottom instead of causing a pond. I'm putting these tomatoes in buckets because I made a video last week telling you guys about how bad my dirt is in my garden. And since I've got these really beautiful tomato plants, I didn't really want to plant them in the ground in my garden because, as I have found out, the ground out there is terrible, so they're not going to grow well out there. So I decided to put them in buckets because I think they've got a better chance to do well this year. My potting soil mixture is made up of thin pine bark, which drains water, or hardwood mulch, which retains water. And it just kind of is a mixture of both of those that makes good potting soil. At least in our experience, it has made good potting soil. I'm thinking this tomato plant will be able to thrive better in this potting soil than it will in the ground that I have in my garden. There we go. I've got my bucket about 3/4 full. So now I'm going to want to take my tomato out carefully. Don't need that pot. Just kind of put it in my bucket. I'm going to fill this bucket up as much as I can because that'll help with the watering situation. The more dirt that you have, the wetter it's going to stay, deeper down in the pot. So that's about it. We've got our first tomato. For fertilizer, I've just got this generic tomato and vegetable garden fertilizer. I don't really know what the best fertilizer is to use. So far this year, I haven't had any problems with this fertilizer, and I'm probably not going to change it at this point in the year, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys what I'm using. This is going to be where they stay, and I'm hoping that they'll grow and the fence will help support them. My favorite part of this opportunity is that along with the tomato plants I got, my grandmother also gave me tomato seeds. So basically, she took a tomato from one of her plants from last year, cut it in half, took a bunch of the guts out of the middle of the tomato, smeared them across paper towels and left them to dry. And then she ended up with a lot of tomato seeds, and I have a few of them in this bag, still on some of the paper towels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these seeds and pot them, and I'm going to try to grow tomato plants from seeds. I know that it's a little late in the season, so I may not get tomatoes from them this year. I don't really know. I'm sure it just depends on the weather and stuff like that. But the main point of this is that I am trying to learn how to grow vegetables from seeds, and if this ends up working out or I learn something useful, I will use this again next year because I have some hopes of being able to grow strawberries from seeds especially, so I've been learning about that. That is what I'm working on, and that's why I'm excited about this. I'm going to just kind of take my paper towel out and see exactly what I've got here. My nanny told me that I can just rip off some of the paper towel and bury it in the pot along with the seeds because the paper towel will disintegrate. So I'm going to just take some potting soil and fill up my pot most of the way. And let's see, I want to get a piece that has some seeds on it. So I think we're going to go kind of like this. And I see at least 4 seeds on that paper towel. And I'm going to just put that in my pot and cover it up. But I'm just going to barely cover it up. Something I learned recently is that, rule of thumb, the smaller the seed is, the shallower you want to plant it. If it's a large seed, you can plant it kind of deep and it won't hurt the seed. But if it's a shallow seed, a small seed, you want to plant it shallow. I think we'll go with that. It's completely covered and we'll see how it works. Now I just got to do that a bunch more times. I wanted to tell you guys something that I'm kind of confused about and that I'm trying to figure out through doing research and stuff like that. Is that next year I would really like to try to start some strawberries from seed. But what I'm confused about is when I need to start the seeds, because I know that little strawberry starts can't grow outside in the frost. But I also know that strawberries are an early plant, like they produce early in the year compared to a lot of vegetables anyway. So I'm very confused as to when I'm supposed to start strawberry seeds. I guess I'm supposed to just grow them inside, but then I'm not really sure when to move them outside, and I'm trying to learn all that stuff. But if you guys have any ideas, please leave them in the comments, because I would appreciate it as I'm trying to learn how to do this. And then I've also been thinking about maybe learning how to start tomatoes. Of course, that's what I'm trying, but tomatoes from seeds and some peppers, things like that. But just specifically, I've been confused about the strawberries because I don't know like what time of year to start them. I've put them in a little tray and I just need to give them some water, and then I'm going to take them out to the garden and I'll show you guys what's going on out there. I'm going to just leave these sitting behind basically my toilet tomatoes. I wanted to show you guys just like 2 things. So basically, the first thing and the thing that I'm excited about, because I just love these guys, is these toilet tomatoes finally have baby grape tomatoes on them. So these are grape tomatoes, as I've told you guys before, so that means they're going to produce tomatoes that are about the size of grapes. And I'm really excited because as of about yesterday, I finally found baby tomatoes on them. So after all of the stuff that's happened with the toilet tomatoes and all of that, they look good. They've grown. I don't really know how big they're supposed to be. They're not that big, but they have baby tomatoes on them. So, I don't know. I think that's good. And one other thing is that I've got squash on my squash plants growing, which I don't really think that's a good thing because these squash are tiny. So I've gotten a couple of comments and learned a few things, and basically there's some people telling me that they are producing when they're this small because they think that they're dying, so they're trying to hurry up and produce seeds. That might be true, but it's still cool to see. I can't really do anything about it. Just the dirt out here is terrible. I'm trying to fix it, but that's what's going on and just wanted to show you. I wanted to point out real quick that the toilet tomatoes are potted in the exact same potting mixture that I just used for the tomatoes that I put in the 5-gallon buckets today, and also the seeds that I just planted in little pots. I wanted to tell you guys that. And then I also wanted to say thank you to my nanny because she gave me this stuff and she gave me dried out seeds, which is good because that's a good head start into learning how to grow vegetables from seeds. Thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you on the next one.